welcome back to Astrology with Ninad. Are you ready for this amazing transit that is going to take place soon? Yes, you heard that right. Venus is finally going to leave the debilitation sign of Virgo and it is going to transit to its own Mool Trikona sign of Libra on September 18. And it will keep transiting in Libra till October 12. So this is a beautiful and game changer transit for many people, especially if you are running the Mahadasha, which is the major planetary period of Venus, or the Antardasha, the minor period. Then this transit can be fantastic for you. Even if Venus is very powerfully placed in your chart, maybe in the sign of Libra itself, or Taurus, or its exaltation sign, or any friendly signs, if you are even running the Pratyantar Dasha of Venus, then this transit can truly be a phenomenal one because no other planets are going to malefically impact Venus. During this transit, Venus will be completely free from any sort of negative influence. It will be able to work in its pure element and exhibit its full power and potential. Its transit in Libra will start with the Nakshatra of Chitra for the first 5 days. Then it will transit to the Swati Nakshatra, which is the Nakshatra that completely falls within Tula Rashi. And then after 11 days of transit in Swati Nakshatra, it will move to the final Nakshatra of Vrishika, where it will be about 9 to 10 days. So in this video, I will give a complete breakdown of the impact of this crucial and important transit for all the signs of the zodiac, starting from Aries all the way up to Pisces. I have provided the timestamps in the description box below for your convenience, so you can click on the time that corresponds to your ascendant or moon sign and watch accordingly. So let's dive in and take a look at what this Venus transit has to offer us all. For my Aries Mesh Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 7th house in its own Mool Trikona sign Libra. But it also rules and controls your 2nd house, the Dhanasthan, the house of wealth, money, accumulated cash. And now it will be transiting in the 7th and will start with the initial Nakshatra of Chitra in the first 5 days. So who is the deity of Chitra? It is none other than Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So what does this demand of you? Well, if you are running a business or if you are in a business partnership, it is time to be highly creative. It is time to think outside the box. Be very innovative in your business decision-making process. If you always desire to do something different in your business, then, if you are in a business partnership, talk it out with your partner. Try to do something different that can help you to gain a competitive edge in your business marketplace. Because in the long run, that is where you will start to get the profits, the recognition, your expenses can start to go down. You will think about reducing your overhead cost and how you can increase your revenues. Because this transit Nakshatra of Chitra is looking phenomenal, especially to hone in your creative and artistic talents and skills connected to your business area. Then we see that for the next 11 days, Venus will transit in the Nakshatra of Swati, right? So Swati is a Rahu ruled Nakshatra, but who is the deity of Swati? It is Vayudev. So Vayu is wind, right? It is all about communication. It is all about the free flow of energy. So if you are, in a marriage, right? If you are in a marriage and if things were not going smooth, it will be the right time to get the communication flowing, trying to get on the same page with your spouse, because all marital issues, disharmony, can be certainly resolved during Venus transit in the Nakshatra of Swati. So try to make the most of most use of it, try to really establish a good rapport communication with your spouse, and that can help to clear any misunderstandings and bring back the marital peace and harmony in your married life. Then the final nakshatra transit will be in Vrishika nakshatra for the next 9 to 10 days. So the deity of Vrishika is Indra Agni, right? Indra Dev and Agni, which is fire. Indra is the god of thunder. So a very intense energy associated with this nakshatra. Those single people who are wanting to find a partner, wanting to get married, this energy can certainly help you to potentially find a compatible match, and the wedding bells can certainly ring for some people, because Venus is finally in the 7th house of marriage itself, that too in its own Mool Trikon. And Venus anyways, according to the Kal Purush, is the Karaka of marriage. So good news for single people wanting to get married. Their desires might finally become a reality, and there are strong chances of many people finding their potential companion during this transit in Vishaka Nakshatra. The sensuality, romance, love will be at an all-time high in the relationship area as well. Overall, Venus transit in the 7th is looking very auspicious, and its direct aspect on your ascendant, on your Lagna, will also help to spark up your personality, will make you very charming, will make you very attractive. So people will be naturally drawn to you. You will be able to convince and persuade people easily to see your point of view. It can be really good for those people employed in the field of sales, marketing, advertising, politics, arts and entertainment area. Overall, the time is looking phenomenal for marriage, business, love, romance, and the leadership area, where you will start to get recognition for your talents and skills. And those who had dismissed you earlier, now they will just be naturally drawn to you, and they will come to you seeking good advice and counsel. So overall, transit is looking great for my Aries friends, and I wish you the best. For my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, Venus, the lord of your ascendant, will be transiting in your 6th house in its own Mool Trikona sign Libra. But Venus also rules your ascendant, right? And it will start with the first nakshatra transit of Chitra for the first 5 days. So who is the deity of Chitra? It is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So what does that signify for you? Well, for one, use your creativity. Start to think outside the box on how you can defeat your competition, how you can rise on top above your enemies, right? Because 6th house is connected to your enemies, to your daily work routine. It is also connected to loans, to any debt that you have taken in the past. So now start to strategize on how you can slowly start to repay any loan that you had taken in the past, so you can eventually become debt free. Try to also be very creative in your daily work routine, at your daily job. Start to think on how you can add value to your workflow, so that you can improve the workflow efficiency in your assigned duties, tasks. You need to work smarter, not harder, because that will get you recognized by your peers, by your upper management, and can help you to progress professionally. Then we see that Venus next nakshatra transit will be in Swati for about 11 days. Swati's deity is Vayu, wind, right? So it is all about the free flow of communication. If you have any issues, with anyone at your workplace, right? If there is a lot of stress that you're going through, it might be best to communicate with that person, to, try to be on the same page, or maybe, talk to your boss, talk to the authority people at your workplace, and be honest with your feelings. Be very straightforward, because this is the time to establish communication, the free flow and exchange of ideas. Whatever you're struggling with in life, you need to get to the bottom of it. And how can you do that? Is by establishing free flow of communication, getting the point across, so that a solution, a remedy can be found. Then we see that the next nakshatra transit will be in Vishaka, right? Vishaka deity is none other than Indra Agni. Indra, the god of thunder, and Agni is fire, right? So here a lot of dynamism and lot of enthusiasm can be felt in your daily work routine. You will start to get pumped for your daily job. You will get very excited, and that will only make you work harder. You will really start to put in a lot of effort, hard work in your daily job, and that will help you to get recognized by your bosses, and they will appreciate the effort that you're putting in your job, and that can certainly pave your path on the road to success in your job, in your professional life. So give it your all, especially when Venus is going to transit in Vishaka Nakshatra in the last 9 days of this transit. And if you are even suffering from any health issues, it can be a good time to think of ways on how you can recover from those health issues, whether it is, getting some healthcare treatment, whether it is exercising, whether it is changing your diet, whether it is engaging in spiritual practices, sadhana, vipassana, meditation, yoga, whatever it might be. Then we see that Venus direct influence is on the 12th house. So 12th house is connected to your sleep. If you have been suffering from any sleep disorders, there could be some slight relief on the cards, and you could experience better sleep quality. If you are in a relationship, if you are, in a marriage, then the bed pleasure activity will be on the rise, because 12th house is linked to that, right? So the love, romance, passion will definitely be up there, especially when your Venus will be transiting in Vishaka Nakshatra. About the last 10 days will be filled with sensuality, romance, and pleasure. So overall, a good transit for the most part for my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, and I thank you for watching. For my Gemini Mithun Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 5th house in its own Mool Trikona sign Libra, but it also happens to rule your 12th house. But the Nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So it is a highly creative nakshatra, and the 5th house is the natural house of creativity. So what is this energy asking you? It is asking you to add value, whether to your relationship, to your marriage, to your business, career, education, by using your creativity, self-expression, thinking outside the box, innovative thinking, because your artistic and creative talents and abilities will be strongly recognized here. It has the potential to give you enormous success down the road. So use it to your advantage. Next transit will be in Swati Nakshatra for about 11 days. The deity of Swati is Vayu, wind, right? So it is all about the free flow of communication. 5th house is connected to teaching, right? Teaching ability, sales, advertising, marketing, where a lot of creativity is involved. So, but it is also the free flow of exchange of ideas. It is the flow of communication, the natural flow of communication. So do not suppress anything here. Let it all flow. Express yourself. right? Because that is where your success will lie. That is where people will recognize your talents and skills, your communication skills, because your orator skills will be refined during this transit in Swati. If you're a single individual looking to find someone for a new relationship, this can be a great transit, right? Because it is again about enhancing your communication ability. Because when you meet someone new, you really need to get to know them well before you take it to the next level. But how do you get to know them is by engaging in good communication, trying to get to know that person well. So communication and communication is the key during Venus transit in this nakshatra of Swati. Then we see that the next nakshatra transit will be in Vrishabha, right? Which is, the deity Indra Agni. So here, those people in a relationship can experience lot of passion, lot of love, romance, sensuality, because Indra is the god of thunder, Agni is fire. And there is a whole story behind the nakshatra and the influence, but it is also a very sensual nakshatra. So there will be a lot of uptick in your romantic life, and those couples experiencing some issues can certainly get those resolved and experience a lot of bliss in their romantic relationship during this nakshatra transit in Vrishabha. Then we see that from the 5th house, Venus direct aspect will fall on the 11th house, right? So especially you can get a lot of gains, profits, money flow if you are residing in a foreign land. That can come through your workplace, especially as I mentioned before, if you express your full creativity, outside the box thinking, and add value to your organization, you could get a bonus, promotion, salary increment, or some other rewards or perks, because you will be recognized by the higher management. And especially if you are in a foreign land, then the chance will be higher. So overall, this transit of Venus is looking to be very good for my Gemini friends, and I hope you make the best use of it. All the best. For my Cancer Karka Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 4th house in its own sign of Libra. It also happens to rule your 11th house. But the nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. A highly creative and artistic nakshatra. And now that Venus is in the 4th house, right, it is Digbali. Directionally, it becomes very powerful and strong in the 4th bhava. So the 4th house is linked to your vehicles, to real estate, to property, to your house. So here, this nakshatra energy is indicating a lot of artistic expression. So you might think of nicely decorating your house, buying some luxury furniture, some decorative items to make your house look even 10 times nicer, or the way you want it to look, so you can be more comfortable, more at peace, and feel more happier and get a sense of satisfaction. And the same goes for even a vehicle. You might think of upgrading something in your car, making it look, really fancy. You can do something like that because 4th house is also connected to the car you own. Then we see that Venus next nakshatra transit will be in Swati for 11 days. The deity of Swati is wind, Vayu, the flow of communication. So here, if there are any issues with your mother in regards to any communication, then it is the best time, the best transit to get that sorted out, to get on the same page with your mother so that any disharmony can be resolved and settled once and for all. So try to use communication to your advantage. And the same applies for if you are looking to buy a new house, if you are in market for a new car, then try to do as much research as possible and try to speak with as many good agents, good real estate agents, good car dealerships you can, so that you can get the best deal possible. Also, if you are wanting to get in touch with any childhood friend you had not talked for a long time, you had not met for a long time, it can be a great transit to initiate a conversation and get that energy flow going. Then we see that the final nakshatra transit will be in Vrishika for about 9 to 10 days. So the deity of Vrishika is Indra Agni, the god of thunder plus fire element here. So here, especially if you are in the real estate business, if you are running a car dealership, right, you could have enormous success during this transit, because it is a very powerful, very intense transit where suddenly you might be able to lock down deals, sell several homes, sell several cars and make a lot of profit. Because Venus is here in its Mool Trikona, it is Digbali, directionally strong, and this nakshatra transit of Vishaka, where the ruler Jupiter is in the 11th house. Right now Jupiter is transiting in the 11th house, which is the house of gains, profits, wish fulfillment, desires, right? So a very good time for you to utilize this to your advantage. And the final aspect of Venus will be on your 10th house, the direct aspect on the career house. So naturally, use your charm, use your magnetic personality. Your attraction will rise. People will be naturally drawn and attracted to you. And they will be mesmerized by the way you speak, by the way you communicate. You might only say a few things, but will have a strong impact on whoever you communicate with. You will be able to persuade and make people see your point of view. You will be very convincing. So it can be a great time for people to, make good progress in their professional life. If you don't have a job, good chance of even, acing an interview and getting a new job opportunity. So overall, the time is looking phenomenal for my Cancer Kark Rashi friends, and I wish you the best. For my Leo Simha Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 3rd house in its own Mool Trikona sign Libra, and it also happens to rule your 10th house. But the nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is none other than Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So it is a highly creative and artistic nakshatra. So in the 3rd house, it represents hobbies, passion, natural talent, or liking for something, right? So this energy is asking you to develop and harness that potential skill or talent you have, because you can make it something bigger. You can develop it into something much more. So try to work on any passion, any hobby, any talent that you have, and try to express that to the world. And you can use electronic media for the same, because 3rd house represents your electronic communication, your written communication. So maybe you have a hobby or a penchant for being a book writer, for writing a novel. Well, start brainstorming, start thinking about new ideas, put it down on a paper, and that is how you can make the start to something which can be quite successful in the long run. Then we see that The next nakshatra that Venus will transit in will be Swati for about 11 days. Swati deity is Vayu Devata, wind element. So here communication will be key. The free flow of exchange of ideas, the free flow of communication, expression will be key to be successful, especially for the people employed in the field of sales, advertising, marketing, real estate, politics, or even like a social media influencer, right? You can really hone in this energy of Swati to get some ideas flowing, to expressing something that you always wanted to, so that you can possibly even develop a good following. If you haven't had any issues in the relationship with your siblings, it can be a great time to get things sorted out by establishing rapport, by establishing communication with that sibling, so that you can be on the same page and resolve any differences. It can be a good time for short distance travel and journey as well. Then the final nakshatra transit will be in Vishaka for the next 9 to 10 days. The deity of Vishaka is Indra Agni. So again here, basically it is the combination of thunder and fire. So third house is the natural house of bravery, courage. So be brave, be courageous, be enterprising, put in that self-effort, hard work, parakram into doing anything you always wanted, whether in your business, in your career, in your education, or maybe an adventure. Maybe you might want to go for a nice hike or try something different, maybe skydiving, maybe bungee jumping, that you always wanted to really do, but you just, never had maybe the time for it, or maybe, you had some sort of fear. It is a great time to face your fears, especially when Venus is transiting in the nakshatra of Vishaka. Then we see that Venus direct impact will be on the 9th house, on the Bhagyasthan. So you will have natural support of destiny, of your luck factor, right? Because Venus is the natural planet of luck, right? Along with Jupiter, because they represent all the good things that human beings desire. They are the two most naturally auspicious planets. So Venus aspect on the 9th is good with your hard work, parakram, self-effort, being dynamic, not backing down from what you desire, standing up for yourself, being a force to reckon with. And then you see how Venus will support you in achieving your goals and desires. All the best. For my Virgo Kanya Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 2nd house in its Mool Trikon Libra, but it also controls your 9th house. But the nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. It is all about creativity, thinking outside the box, being very innovative in your approach. So its transit in the 2nd house, in the Dhanasthan, in the house of wealth, your money, bank balance, cash, savings. So this energy is indicating that you need to think strategically. You need to think creatively how you can grow your wealth, how you can expand your wealth. What are some methods? What are some strategies you can undertake which can help you grow your finances in the long run, right? So think outside the box, think on how you can, again, you don't have to take any major risks. You just need to think of safe, stable, good investments that you can make that can give you multiple sources of income, generate more financial stability for you in the long run. This is how you need to start thinking when Venus is in Chitra Nakshatra. Then the next transit will be in Swati for about 11 days. The deity of Swati is wind, Vayu Dev. So here, if you have any extended relatives that, there were any misunderstandings with them, or let's say you had not met them for a long time, if there has been a communication gap, it is a great time to get that communication initiated, right? Establish that rapport with them, because you never know how your extended relatives can, be of help to you in the future. It's always good to maintain, peaceful and good relationship with your family members. So if there are any kind of, if there is any bad blood, any disharmony, it is a good time to maybe rethink your strategy. Maybe unnecessarily there is bad blood when there doesn't have to be. So you can think of re-establishing a genuine rapport, starting a communication with those relatives, and something good can come out of it. You never know. Then we see that the next transit nakshatra will be in Vrishabha for about 10 days. So the deity of Vrishabha is none other than Indra Agni, the god of thunder and fire combined. Here there is a chance of sudden gain in wealth, because the direct impact of Venus is also on your 8th house, right? 8th house is the house of sudden unexpected, gains in life. It could come through your spouse, in-laws, inheritance, insurance, through real estate, property, vehicle, your past investments, any legacies, right? So you need to think, because even 8th house is connected to lottery, right? It's connected to speculation, because it's sudden unexpected gain. Not that you should, do a lot of those kind of things, but 8th house is connected to that. But you must not forget that Saturn's debilitated enemy aspect is also on the 8th house. So better not to involve yourself in high risk speculative activities. Instead, focus on good investments. Maybe you had invested something in the past that could, bring a good ROI right now, a good return on your investment, especially when Venus will be transiting in Vishaka Nakshatra, because the energy will be very intense. It can possibly provide some sort of gain, especially considering all other things are equal, like Venus is very well placed in your natal chart, you are running a very good Mahadasha, Antardasha, your 8th house is also fairly decent, and so forth. But overall, the time is looking quite good for my, Virgo, Kanya Rashi friends, and I wish you all the best. For my Libra, Tula Rashi friends, Venus, the lord of your Lagna, the ruler of your ascendant, will be transiting in the 1st house itself in its own sign of Tula Rashi. It also controls your 8th house, but its nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So what is this energy demanding of you? Libra is an air sign. Chitra is a highly creative nakshatra. So it is all about self-expression, expressing your artistic and creative talents to the world. In short, in your career, in your business, how you can add value to your existing workflow by being creative, by thinking outside the box, right? Not sticking to the norm, being unconventional in your approach, because that is where your success can lie. So start aligning yourself with the energy of this beautiful and creative nakshatra, and it can do wonders for you. The next transit nakshatra will be in Swati for about 11 days. The deity of Swati is Vayudev, the wind god. So it is all about free flow of communication, free flow of energy, right? Because wind moves very fast. And Libra is an air sign again. So this is an excellent time for politicians, for business leaders, for CEOs, for people who are in the social media influencer space, who want to gain a lot of following, who want to gain, let's say, subscribers, who want to, give a message to society and make an impact on people. So it is all about communication, which will be amplified 10 times more. If you are running a business, you want to influence your employees, it can be a great time to put forth your ideas, your business goals, mission, vision, right, in front of your employees when Venus will be transiting in Swati Nakshatra. Or let's say you are in a leadership role in your organization and you have to make a presentation. Try to do it when Venus is in Swati Nakshatra. You will be able to make a strong impact on everyone that you present the ideas to. Then we see that Venus will move on to the final nakshatra of Vrishika for the next 9 to 10 days. So the deity of Vrishika here is Indra Agni, the god of thunder plus the element of fire. And Venus direct impact is on the 7th house. So what does that signify? It signifies a lot of passion, love, romance, reigniting in your married life if there were any sort of issues. Because Saturn's strong enemy aspect is on your 7th house, right? But Venus will now provide great relief in your marital life and bring back some of the harmony and peace that has been missing. And if you think about a business you are running, then it is a great time for you to brainstorm about new ideas. Think about how you want to, expand and grow your business in the future, not right now, not till at least Saturn's strong aspect is on your 7th. But it is a great time to start to get some ideas jotted down together, start to think of what you want to achieve for your business in the next 10, 15, 20 years, right? Think more about the long term and not the short term approach. If you are in a business partnership, try to get some ideas flowing with your business partner and try to be on the same page so you can work creatively and effectively for your business enterprise. All right, so this is kind of the energy that I'm seeing for my Libra Tula Rashi friends, and I wish you all the best. For my Scorpio Vrishika Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 12th house in its own Mool Trikona sign Libra. It also happens to rule your 7th house, right? But the Nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So highly creative and artistic nakshatra. So where do you need to use this creativity? In your business, because Venus is controlling your business house, especially if you have a business that is dealing with foreign lands, has foreign connections like import export, right? This is the time to be very creative and be very innovative in your approach, in your business strategy, because revamping some things in how your business functions can do wonders in the long run. You can also apply creativity in your daily work-life routine, how you can make things more efficient, how you can add value to your everyday job that you're working in can also help you to progress professionally. Then we see that the transit of Venus will be to the nakshatra of Swati for the next 11 days. The deity of Swati is Vayu, which is wind element, right? So it is all about the free flow of idea, free flow of communication, right? So where does this need to be redirected? It needs to be directed in your marriage, in your married life, right? So if there are any issues in your married life that need to be resolved, your marriage is on the brink of divorce or anything like that, this is a key transit in this nakshatra which can help to resolve those differences and get you on the same page with your spouse, right? The love can certainly be reignited during this transit in Swati, because Swati is a very kind of changeable nakshatra. It can be easily influenced, right? So it is not very fixed. So if anything needs to be changed in your marriage, if anything needs to be resolved to bring back the harmony, peace, love in your married life, then it is the right transit and nakshatra activation to do the same. And if you have any enemies, if you have maybe some people who do not wish you well, who cause you problems in your workplace, in your business, or any other place, then it can be a great time to confront them and start the conversation going, so that any sort of misunderstandings can be resolved. So it can be a great time for you to convert enemies into potential friends. The next nakshatra transit will be in Vrishabha for the next 9 to 10 days. Vrishika deity is Indra Agni, god of thunder and the fire element combined. So here, if you are in a relationship, if you are in a marriage, then the love, romance, bed pleasure, passion will be at an all-time high, will be on the rise, because the 12th house is connected to bed pleasure activity, and Venus is also in its Mool Trikon in the sign of Libra, and it is also controlling your 7th house of marriage, your spouse, and Venus in general is the Karaka of relationship of your spouse, of marriage. So overall, the love, romance, passion in your relationship, in your married life, in your romantic life is going to be quite good. So overall, this transit of Venus is looking to be solid for my Scorpio Vrischika Rashi friends, and I hope you make the best use of it. Thank you. For my Sagittarius Dhanu Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 11th house in its own Mool Trikona Libra, and it also rules your 6th house. But the nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is none other than Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. It is a highly creative and artistic nakshatra. So when Venus is transiting in your 11th house, what does that imply? Well, let's say you're a social media influencer, or you're in the acting industry, or in any industry which faces the public, and you want to gain a more following, you want to gain more visibility in front of your audience. This is where you need to use your creativity. Think outside the box on how you can spice things up, how you can do something differently which can help you to gain more brand awareness and visibility for yourself or for your brand. Then we see that Swati Nakshatra will be the next transit of Venus for about 11 days, right? Swati deity is Vayudev, wind element. So it is all about free flow of communication. It is a very fast moving energy, right? So you could see sudden gains from multiple sources of income during this time period. But try to capitalize on that and try to again be creative on how you can reinvest those profits and create new streams of income for yourself. If you have a good social media following, or if you have a lot of influence in society, it can be a great time for you to express any ideas that you always wanted. It can be a great time for you to really showcase your personality to your social network, to your friend circle, because it is the time for you to gain more influence. right? More credibility, more brand awareness, because anything expressed here, right, especially using creative and artistic means, can really help to get that energy flowing, because Swati Nakshatra is a very bendable and free flowing nakshatra where self-expression and creativity can be at an all-time high and peak. Then the next nakshatra transit will be in Vishakha. The element or the basically deity of Vishakha nakshatra is Indra Agni, the god of thunder and the fire element combined. So here it is all about how you can, do very well in your career, because there is a chance of getting a bonus, promotion, or a salary increment when your Venus will be transiting in the nakshatra of Vishakha. So it is all about hard work, dedication, parakram, being very enthusiastic, excited about your daily work routine, which will make you to work harder. You will start to, really think outside the box and apply your creative talents and abilities to your daily routine and improve the workflow of your process of your assigned duties, tasks, and that can help you to get recognized by your peers, by the upper management, and you can become more successful professionally. So use it to your advantage. So overall, the time for the Sagittarius people is looking quite good, even because Venus will be aspecting the 5th house, which is a trine house. So it is the house of natural creativity, self-expression, love, romance, passion, and the natural karaka of all these things, Venus itself, will be activating the 5th. So even for single people, there could be some potential opportunities open up to meet someone new. So be open to that. And those couples already in a relationship, if things were not going that smooth, there can be a ray of hope. There can be some relief in your relationship issues if you are willing to sort those out, if you are willing to get that communication flow going. Overall, the time and the transit is looking good for my Sagittarius friends, and I wish you the best. For my Capricorn Makar Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 10th house in its own Mul Trikona sign Libra. It also happens to rule your 5th house. So naturally, it is a very beneficial planet for you, also known as a Yoga Karaka, because it is controlling a trine and a center house. But its nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So it is a very creative nakshatra. Since Venus is right now in your career house, what is this energy asking of you? It is saying that you need to be creative, you need to be artistic, you need to express yourself to its fullest potential in your workplace. You need to think of how you can add value by doing something different to the workflow process, which can improve the efficiency of your job. And this can help you to get recognized by your peers, by your bosses, and by the upper management. So overall, this nakshatra activation is asking you to be creative and artistic and just being yourself and using that creative mindset to really try something different, because Venus also is ruling your 5th house, which is the natural house of creativity and self-expression. Then we see that Venus will transit to the nakshatra of Swati for about 11 days. The deity of Swati is Vayudev, the wind element. So it is all about the free flow of communication. This can be a great time for those people who don't have a job to get a new job by giving lots of interviews, right? Because Venus is the natural planet of charisma, of attraction, right? So with your natural talent, skills, abilities, you will be able to ace any interviews that you give, because Venus will give you that confidence. Because right now it is transiting in its own Mool Trikona sign of Libra. Your career lord itself is in the 10th house, and that too in the Nakshatra of Swati, which is all about free flow of communication. So try to give as many interviews as possible, especially when Venus will be in Swati Nakshatra for about 11 days, because this is where you can, really get that job that you desired. Then we see that Venus will transit to the Nakshatra of Vrishika for the next 9 to 10 days. The deity of Vrishika is none other than Indra Agni, god of thunder and fire element combined. Here, you need to really focus on giving it your 200% effort in your job, because there is no surprise if you rise to tremendous heights when Venus is in the Nakshatra of Vrishika, because the transit is looking pretty powerful, as the ruler of Vrishika, Jupiter, is in the 5th house, right? So here we see that Jupiter is in the sign of Venus itself in the 5th and aspecting the 11th. So if you piece the puzzle together, you can see that you can grow tremendously professionally if you really put in your 200% dedication, hard work and effort in your job, in your daily routine. You can become quite successful, because the energy is very potent of the thunder and fire element, right? So you will be a force to be reckoned with at your workplace. Then we see that Venus direct influences on your 4th house, right? So there can be some improvement in your home surrounding, in your environment, in your overall ambience. You might think of getting some new furniture, decorating your house, adding some new modification to your car. Mentally also, you will start to feel more relaxed, more peaceful. Your stress level can go down a bit. If there are any issues in the relationship with your mother, it can be a great time for you to get those resolved, especially when Venus is transiting in the Nakshatra of Swati after September 23. It can be a great time to resolve those discrepancies and get on the same page with your mother. But overall, if you are also in the real estate domain, due to Saturn's malefic impact, you still have to be careful. But if you are a real estate agent, or if you are, a vehicle dealership like a business, you can have some much better luck due to the transit of Venus. So overall, a great time indicated for my Capricorn friends, and I wish you the best. For my Aquarius Kumbha Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 9th house in its own Mool Trikona sign Libra. It also happens to rule your 4th house. So naturally, it is a good planet for you because it is controlling a trine and a center house. So it is a Yoga Karaka planet. But its Nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. So it is a very creative and highly artistic nakshatra, right? So when Venus is in its Mool Trikon in the 9th bhava, the more you apply creativity, self-expression in your life, in any domain, whether it's career, business, education, marriage, romantic life, you will reap the rewards, right? You need to think of how you can add value to your different areas of life, because your destiny and luck factor is also going to be very strong to support you, because 9th house is the house of Bhagya, and your Bhagyesh Venus is now going to transit in the Bhagyastan itself. So really start to think outside the box, be unconventional in your approach, be strategic, be creative on how you can do something differently which can make things better, can improve the workflow efficiency in your job, in your business, how you can be more creative in your marriage, in your married life, how you can, surprise your partner, how you can make them more happy, because all this will result not just in good karma for you, but also in you being able to be successful in many branches of your life, right? Then we see that Venus next nakshatra transit will be in Swati for about 11 days. The deity of Swati is Vayudev, the wind element, right? So if you are in the teaching profession or if you are a spiritual leader, then it can be a great time to express your thoughts, express your ideas freely, because the nakshatra of Swati has a lot of air element to it. The wind will just, go very fast. So if you're a religious leader, spiritual leader, if you're a teacher, then this nakshatra activation can be quite powerful for you to get more visibility, more awareness to your ideas, to your thoughts. So self-expression will be key here. Then we see that it can also be a good time for long distance travel, journey and vacation. Definitely, it can be a great time for you to embark on any long distance journey that you had desired for a long time, but things were not fructifying. Here is a key opening for you to embark on that journey. And that journey, especially if it is like a holy pilgrimage, a religious undertaking journey to faraway lands, then it can even, help you to unlock some hidden potential, like unlock some deep spiritual hidden potential within you, right? So even doing yoga, meditation, vipassana, all these can be quite beneficial. Then we see that Venus next nakshatra transit will be in Vrishika for the next 9 to 10 days. The deity of Vrishika is Indra Agni, right? Indra is the god of thunder and Agni is fire. So here it is telling you to follow the path of dharma, right? Follow the path of righteousness, the right action. And it can be different for different individuals, right? A path of dharma can be different for one person as compared to another individual. So you need to know what is best for you, what is kind of the most holistic and righteous route that you need to take to, make your life better, to being more ethical, to following and sticking to your good values, ethics and morals. And that will go a long way, because the transit in Vrishika is mainly asking you to follow the dharma, follow the path of righteousness. And then you will see how things will start to open up for you. So overall, a great transit for my Aquarius Kumbha friends, and I wish you the best. For my Pisces Meen Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 8th house in its own Mool Trikona sign Libra. It also happens to rule your 3rd house. But the nakshatra transit start will be with Chitra in the first 5 days. The deity of Chitra is none other than Vishwakarma, the celestial architect, all about creativity and artistic expression, right? So 8th house is connected to chronic health issues. So if you have been suffering from a chronic health issue for a long time, you need to use your creativity. You need to start to think outside the box on some treatments that you might have not tried in the past, which can be beneficial to you in the future. So doing some due diligence, thinking strategically, and trying to find the right treatment for your chronic health issues can be a key theme here when Venus is transiting in Chitra, right? And then we see the next transit will be in Swati Nakshatra for about 11 days. And the deity of Swati is wind, the Vayu element, right? Vayu Tattva. So it is the free flow of energy, exchange of energy. So if you are in the research field, deep research field, then go deeper, because here you can get access to lot of knowledge, lot of information that can help your research, that can help you make a significant discovery, right? If you have any interest in the occult sciences field, astrology, astronomy, tarot reading, numerology, palmistry, Vastu Shastra, face reading, whatever it might be, Nadi astrology, Brigu Nadi, or whatever it might be, try to develop that knowledge, try to hone into that knowledge when Venus is transiting in Swati, because it can uncover some hidden potential. And also keep doing some research about any chronic health issues you might be facing, because here the information will be more easily accessible to you and you can come across a remedy that can provide a cure for the chronic ailments. Then we see that the final nakshatra transit will be in Vrishika for the next 9 to 10 days. The deity of Vrishika is Indra Agni, right? Indra Agni is the deity. Indra is god of thunder and Agni is fire. So it is a very powerful energy activated in the last 9 to 10 days of this Venus transit. 8th house is the house of sudden unexpected gains in life, and Venus is the natural planet of wealth, of money, of riches. So there is a chance of sudden unexpected wealth that can come your way through insurance, through inheritance, through legacies, through the stock market, through your past investments, through your spouse, through your in-laws, through insurance, whatever it might be. There could be a sudden unexpected payoff when Venus is transiting in the nakshatra of Vrishika. So overall, although the 8th house is not the most beneficial, it can be good for some people, especially who have deep interest in occult sciences and also deep interest in spirituality or any type of kind of religion, because deep diving into these things will help to channel the 8th house energies in a very positive way. Then we see that Venus is also influencing directly your 2nd house. So as you can see, the 2nd house of wealth is activated, and so is the 8th house of sudden unexpected gains. So naturally, connecting those two together, we can see a theme here of sudden inflow of money, sudden gain, sudden increase in wealth and savings can happen when Venus is especially in Vrishika Nakshatra. It can also be a great time for you to meet up with your extended family members, your relatives, have a nice reunion, because it will give you more happiness and peace. So overall, this transit of Venus is looking to be quite good for my Pisces Meen Rashi friends, and I thank you for watching. All the best. If you gained any insight and value from this video, please do consider subscribing to my channel so you can always stay connected with me for my future uploads. Thank you and namaste.